How do I trap my mid-level party in the Feywild? I have a party of 4 level 11 characters. By the time they would be in the Feywild, I plan on them being level 12. They're going to end up there by fighting a plane-hopping boss monster in a raid with their party leading the battle. I plan on them killing the monster and then being trapped. While I plan this, I am running into the issue of how do I keep them in there until they find my planned way out? Would they be able to banish themselves to get out, or any other means I would need to worry about? Although I could have them hunt the monster in the Feywild to finish the battle. Just worried it might feel a bit contrived or railroady to do so. I'm curious for some feedback for this plan. Thank you for reading this far if you did. First off, no, they cannot banish themselves home. Banishment is a temporary effect that only becomes permanent if cast on a creature from the outer or elemental planes. Plus, if they could banish themselves, they wouldn't be able to choose where they ended up. I'm still learning the new rule set, but I do believe that the earliest accessible spell with any form of reliable interdimensional travel is Word of Recall, which is a level 6 spell that also requires the caster to have already created a sanctuary that they can teleport back to. The much more useful Plane Shift requires a 7th level slot. But let's leave the rule weeds for a little bit and talk about some wording that I find a little concerning. How do I keep them there until they find my planned way out? They are going to end up there by fighting a plane hopping monster. I plan on them killing the monster and then being trapped. Look, railroading is not universally a bad thing. Some tables like it, but that style of play really has fallen out of favor. So if your players are cool with just riding the rails and enjoying your story, you got nothing to worry about. But if not, here's how I would prepare for this fight without railroading. First, I need to really understand this monster's motivation. This is going to allow me to react to anything my players do in a way that befits my villain. We also need to keep in mind one of the cardinal rules of DMing. Things are not going to go according to plan, especially during combat. It would be really cool if your players got trapped in the Feywild during this fight, but if that's where all of your content is, it can't be the only way they get there. Player buy-in is a really important part of the game, but for it to work, they have to have something to buy into. So we need to make sure that there's always more than one piece of motivation pointing towards the content we've prepared, whether that's a character quest or the answer to a mystery they've all been trying to solve, or it's simply where the A-plot is happening. That way, if your players end up in the Feywild by random chance, great, but if not, they're going to figure out a way to get there anyway.